Welcome to the Cryptonaut podcast. My name is Mark Storrs, and hanging out with me as always is
Rob Morphy,
Robert, and
Creops.
Christopher, special guest.
Peyton.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
For the second time.
Week 2.
Yep.
The saga.
Excited.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I told you to lock in. This is going to bring us through Thanksgiving.
Christmas. Oh my God.
Christ.
Listen.
Well,
You never know.
you can't rule it out.
You might want to start blocking out time in December, okay? Because you never know. You honestly never know.
I did make the premature call, as I always do, with great assurance that it would be a 3-parter. I was wrong.
Yeah. Yep.
On part 2. You already know.
No one is shocked.
Okay.
There's definitely going to be 4 parts.
Okay.
I think, now this is me, this is the hubris of Uncle Bobby talking.
Oh, no.
I think we can get it done in 4. I think we can
Okay.
do this in a month.
Okay. All right.
And if we can't,
Okay.
it'll be 5.
Then
Wow.
you better start crossing your Christmas plans off the list. Christmas is canceled.
I
We're
mean-
locking in.
Honestly, luckily, I do nothing. So the only thing I've had to shift is my piano lessons.
Oh, you're shifting piano lessons for this. Oh, thank
Yeah.
you. That's kind of cool.
Yep. You're welcome.
All right.
I know.
Well,
It's all right.
Sacrifice.
You guys
We
can
appreciate it.
still come to my Christmas piano recital.
I'll be
you had a
there.
recital?
Where's that
December
gonna be?
22nd.
Oh my God, let's go.
Oh,
Yeah.
dude, I went last year.
Yeah,
I was
he went-
a boss.
He went last year. I played Little Drummer Boy and Frosty the Snowman.
Mhm.
It was
That's
me and a
all-
bunch of 7-year-olds, and I did way better.
Wow.
No, I'm just kidding.
Wow.
They were great.
All right, so we're all going to go.
I kind of nailed it. That kind of sucks.
We're all going to go and we're going to boo the 7-year-olds. Be like, boo.
One of the funniest
Get
things
off the
I've ever seen
stage.
happen, there's like a 12-year-old
That's
kid
funny.
that was playing piano and just fucked up, hit the wrong note. And our niece Riley, who was just like 1.5 at the time, she happened to like drop like a little flower she was holding. And just the second he went plunk, she went, uh-oh, and it echoed through the church. And everyone's like, oh my God, this kid's a fucking music critic.
That's hilarious.
Oh, it was so funny.
It was so
Oh,
funny.
man, that's awesome. All right, so we're back here. We're doing it. Veggie Man Redux Part 2, as mentioned last week. Commander Zarcon.
Here he is.
Oh,
Zarcon.
man. All right, we're getting into the Zarcon, so let's get started with, after a series of bizarre UFO sightings and his mother's close encounter with a tiny leash-bound devil, it would seem that Jennings Frederick and his family had already maxed out their high strangeness quota. But it turns out that the world of weird was far from finished with this cloistered clan, as an array of eccentric entities were still waiting in the wings.
Well done,
They
sir.
always are.
Oh,
They always
man.
Lurking,
All right.
lurking in the shadows.
Yeah.
All right. That's where I like them. That's where I want to be.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's right.
I mean, the pops are what get you in the haunted house.
Yeah.
Even if it's the shitty animatronic ones that you go through on like a slow roller coaster or
Yeah,
whatever
yeah,
you call
well,
it, tracks, whatever. You still want the pops around the corner,
yeah. You know?
waiting in the wings.
All right,
Yeah.
man. Well,
Again, as with the last episode, any quotes should be attributed to the Veggie Man scholar extraordinaire and our personal researcher, Cole Harold, who and his copious, I wrote this down so I'd say it better, and of course I say it terribly, and delightfully thorough notes. So thank you, Cole. Thank you for all the hard work
Oh,
you put
yeah.
into this. Thank you for going down to the archives. All the shit we gave a shout out last week continues this week. Thank you again. This Redux would not be possible without you. Check out his shit at New World Explorers Blogspot.
you follow him on Instagram, man.
Follow
Cole's
him.
Dude, Cole's the best, man.
Good
He's
dude.
Awesome.
Very generous with his information, obviously.
Yeah, no.
I mean, we're not.
there.
I mean, I'm sure many people use him as a resource. I claim him as our researcher because I like to claim
Well,
things.
no, yeah.
But honestly, I mean, the man is just open with knowledge.
He's the best.
So, that having been said, let us step back and allow me to do a brief editorial. Growing up is not easy. Even if you were lucky enough to be that rarest of unicorns, a cool, emotionally stable smoke show, blistering with confidence, full of athletic ability, and still somehow uncannily good at math, and if you were, you can proceed to fuck the fuck off right now, then
Yeah.
chances are your much vaunted and allegedly carefree teenage years were still tumultuous AF. For the rest of us mere mortals, the jarring transition from the halcyon days of youth to the crushing responsibilities of adulthood offered up a seemingly endless parade of insecurity-inducing obligations, all foisted upon what, to the outside world, looked like an ordinary young adult, but what was, in actuality, a terrified, angst-ridden child weathering a hormonal tsunami barely contained within an ill-fitting, acne-ridden suit. Not that I'm processing any childhood trauma here. But no matter how bad you had it, It likely paled before the trials of a teenaged Jennings Frederick. Having grown up on a farm in rural West Virginia, Jennings was no stranger to hard work, yet he found time to not only participate in school politics, but indulge his favorite pastimes as an amateur paleontologist and avid rare rock hunter. So far, so good. An active teen with a seemingly healthy home life and school life complemented by outside interests. But Jennings had one other pursuit that put him, especially in rural West Virginia in the mid-1960s, well outside the norm. He was fascinated by UFOs and their alleged occupants. And what's more, if reports are to be believed, these beings were equally obsessed with him.
Mm.
They love the Jennings.
I mean,
Hot for
sometimes
Jennings.
you hunt
Dude,
them or
got a bad. Got a
they
bad.
hunt you.
Got a bad.
Yeah.
Truth. Yeah.
There it is.
For his part, Jennings had done his due diligence as a patriotic young American. He had complied in good faith with the government's request to report any and all suspicious activity in the skies above, or, in some cases, hovering just a few feet over the good old US of A. For his troubles, he was told he had misidentified a weather balloon before being labeled, along with his poor mother, a crank whose observations were the result of a quote-unquote psychological aberration. But even if the beleaguered bunch running Project Blue Book were willing to dismiss the Fredericks out of hand, as it turns out was their mission all along, that does not mean that their sightings were not real. And as if being a teen swept up in a phenomenon beyond comprehension while being spurned by the government sworn to protect you was not already hard enough, it would seem that the bizarre array of non-human intelligences who'd converged on this close-knit clan was far from finished with young Mr. Frederick.
We're just getting started.
Just getting started. At approximately 5:40 p.m. on the evening of November 3rd, 1965, 16-year-old Jennings and his younger brother William were getting the family's chickens settled for the night, a process which I assume entails tiny blankets and sweet clucking lullabies. Not having lived on a farm, I can only guess.
That was what I pictured too.
Yeah,
They're literally
I don't know,
tucking
what
in the
does that
chickens
mean?
is what I
Like,
saw.
Maybe they're just like they're in a spot and,
And-
then you just
and-
crail them
Into the coop.
No.
Yeah,
Probably feeding and cooping them.
yeah.
But the way
Settled
when
in.
Cole wrote, like, oh, they're getting the chickens settled in for the night,
That's what
instantly.
Yeah.
You picture.
Oh, it's a fairy tale
Immediately,
antics.
every
Blankets,
single chicken
lullabies.
had their own space. Tucked them in, kiss on the forehead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go to the next.
They got like
Right.
little chicken eye things, like, like little nighty masks.
Yes.
Chicken
Good night,
eye. He said
chicken-
chicken eye things.
Good
I'm
night,
like,
chicken I love.
You know, we're going to be talking about chicken eyes soon. I'm glad you brought that up.
All right.
That was prescient.
Really?
Good
Chicken,
night.
chicken eye? Chicken eye soup?
No,
Soup, Mark?
No,
Chicken eye soup?
I'm
Oh
over
my
soup.
God.
I'm over soup.
No, soup
I'm
is
over
not
soup.
going to be mentioned at all.
I
No.
just did, though.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah,
Fuck.
it's too
Now,
late.
the wounds have been ripped back
Yeah.
open.
yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ. All
Will
right.
this divide never heal?
Nope.
All
Bust the
right.
stitches.
So Jennings and Billy are out, getting the chickens ready for nighty night, and out of the corner of their eyes, they caught sight of a brilliant orange light that seemed to be coming at them from across the river. At first, the boys rationalized that it must be an optical illusion caused by an unusually bright pair of headlights coming over a hill from Jordan, West Virginia, or the east side of Fairmont, which is right near where they live in Rivesville. But as they continued to stare at the odd illumination, the teenagers quickly realized that this was no car, but a caliber of craft that, while clearly flying, was somehow able to do so perched precariously close to the horizon, much too close to be any kind of plane. Maybe a chopper, but you'd probably hear it and know that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I'm sure they were using helicopters in America then. They were certainly using them in Vietnam, but I don't know how common they were. Regardless, could have been a helicopter, probably wasn't. Definitely not a plane.
The
No.
hidden helicopter.
No, it's not a captor.
The caps.
Captor.
It's at this point where Jennings' personal quotes get a wee bit choppy. He chronicled this incident as case number 3 in his private journals, but due to the bizarre nature of the sighting, it's a bit difficult to get a handle on what actually transpired. But being lucky enough to have Cole Harold on speed dial, we broke it down and came to the conclusion that this was probably what happened. And to suit, as the boys stared at this self-illuminated wonder, which was approaching at a speed estimated to be just a little slower than a single-engine airplane, the object suddenly shot up with an uncharacteristic for a UAP jet-like roar, to what appeared to be an elevation of at least 20,000 feet, where it now appeared to be no larger than a $50. It was then that the Frederick boys made a stunning realization that what they'd initially assumed was a car-sized object flying at a great distance was actually a very tiny craft, or perhaps a drone, that was hovering no more than an arm's length away.
How do you confuse the two?
I'll tell you how you confuse the two. I talked about this the other day, and maybe you remember this, Pay, where I saw that weird cybernetic shrimp floating
Oh, yeah, you and Jason, yeah.
in the sky.
Yeah.
In your front yard, when you guys lived on Eastwood Ave, you were very young, so you might not remember. There was this thing that seemed to be like dangling like on a tether that seemed like it was so close I could reach out and touch it. But then when I got near it, it kept being equidistant from my eye and then looked like it was big far away and then looked like it was tiny and close again.
Oh.
It was really weird. We were all playing in the front yard, you, me, your big brother. I think your mom was around somewhere. And I just caught this. And so Jay and I pursued it a little bit. And I think we tried to point it out to you guys, but you're kids and give
you're
zero
not- yeah.
fucks.
Yeah.
So I can really identify with what the brothers are going through here, where it's like, fuck, is it there? Is it here? Is it tiny? Is it huge, like 20,000 feet away? Is it minute, like 3 feet away? It doesn't make sense unless you've experienced it. If I hadn't seen that, I would be
Yeah.
like, I don't get it either. That's
Okay.
absurd.
Yeah.
I guess, yeah, no, because I don't think I think the closest I've ever experienced to it is sometimes I don't know if I'm on the bottom step of the stairs or if there's going to be another step.
I hate that.
Oh, I've done that.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
Sometimes you
Then
take a
it's-
yeah,
weird.
you're
Step
like,
too hard.
Yeah.
and you're-
Yeah.
yeah.
And you
I hate
literally like shrink your spine by 3 inches
Yeah.
and shatter
Yeah.
vertebrae. Yeah, we've
Yeah.
all
I think
done
that's
that.
like the closest I can identify with that, but it makes sense the way you put it.
Right. It is weird.
Or like your stomach drops, but there is another step. You're like, oh, thank God.
Yeah.
Miracle step. Jesus step was there for me the whole way.
Yeah.
The whole time.
No, he took the wheel. He took the stop.
He did the step. Yeah, Jesus take the step.
Wow.
Mark can't.
Jesus, take the stairs. Give me one more step. Can't do this. Can't
All right.
do this.
Okay. So it's confusing.
T-shirt number 4.
Yes.
Perfect.
No
Oh,
fucking
boy.
doubt. All right. The mystified brothers stared in wide-eyed wonder as the small, now darkened object slowly maneuvered around them. It now seemed to be far too tiny to be a vehicle, though with quantum mechanics being what it is, who knows how large it may have been on the inside. That was not Jennings' assertion. That's just my assumption. The boys both noticed that this diminutive device, the shape of which was evidently not clearly defined, though based on the $50 comparison was likely circular, had 3 triangular lights on its undercarriage that blinked on and off. Stranger still were the 4 trails of psychedelic light vapor that followed the object like a glittering miasma. So it's got a 4-pronged trail of magic dust.
It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
It is kind of cool.
Okay.
It was then that both Jennings and William noted a series of circular portals careening around the perimeter of the machine, which may have denoted that this Bantam craft carried passengers after all. Of course, maybe it wasn't Windows, who the fuck knows. It was at this moment that the brothers realized that this UFO was actually shrinking. In fact, the closer that it got to them, the smaller it became. This confirmed, at least to the brothers' satisfaction, that their original assumption that the object was car-sized when it was across the river was correct. It simply decreased in size as it got closer. Marveling at this seemingly physics-defying display, Jennings and William continued to watch until the vehicle, quote-unquote, winked out of existence. Jennings made it a point to mention in his notes that he did not believe that this object merely shot off like a bullet, as so often seems to be the case in other UAP cases, but that it had simply vanished or, perhaps, instantly shrank until it was no longer visible to the naked eye. Some Ant-Man shits there. Whatever the case may have been, the teenagers could only speculate as to what the hell it was they just witnessed, and as farm life demands, finish putting the fucking chickens to bed.
All right, man. They
Can't
can put
forget about-
themselves to bed.
They
No.
need their kisses.
They need the lullabies.
Yeah.
They need a story. Doesn't have to be a long story, but they need a
Yeah.
story.
Yeah.
And it better be just long enough, or they're going to get pissed and the clucking begins.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here you go.
Why don't we start a farm? Clearly, we have all the
No.
knowledge.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah?
Nope.
I'm hearing yeah.
Okay.
We don't have the
We'll talk about it
space,
later.
the time.
You do.
Yeah.
Where?
I don't know. Your
Your
yard.
yard.
No.
You got a big yard.
Yeah.
I got a trampoline I'm trying to get rid of.
Get rid of
Well,
the
great. We can
trampoline,
put
get a
chickens
coop.
there.
You want a trampoline?
No.
That's what I thought. All right.
not
There are no
allowed.
chickens.
Take the
You're not allowed.
trampoline, and then he gets
My
chickens.
brother hurt his neck on a trampoline as a child, and I've never been allowed on trampolines.
You're an adult. You own a home. You do what you fucking want.
Wow.
You're getting a trampoline.
I still respect my mother's wishes.
Wow.
That's kind of wonderful and horrible
Tramp-
and wonderful.
Trampoline
If we
free
get him
in the
chickens
year
for
after
Christmas, then he has
23.
to keep them.
Okay. Gonzo, as it
You
was.
get a stocking of chickens.
This incident would
Oh,
not be the
God.
last that Jennings would have with a size-changing UAP. On the night of September 8th, 1966, over 8 months after his last sighting and just a few weeks shy of his 17th birthday, Jennings was, as usual, working his parents' rural Rivesville property when he spied something that would once again knock reality as he knew it on its proverbial ass. At about 9 p.m., Jennings, who was alone at the time, caught sight of what he initially thought was a massive object flying at about the speed of an airplane some 400 to 500 feet above. But, much like in his last sighting with his brother William, he quickly realized that the UFO, which had no flashing lights, triangular or otherwise, was much closer, flying no more than a few feet above his head. In fact, had he wanted, he could have simply reached up and grabbed the thing, but, not knowing the consequences of such an action, it seems as if he decided to err on the side of safety first, which is always sage. Was this another case of a swift descent combined with an even quicker size change? Or was there something about these unusual objects that just played hell with human perception? Occam's razor being what it is, it seems like the latter is more likely. I mean, based on what we know about physics, if you're working with a whole other set of physics and you can change size, or like David Grush said, there's a ship and it's like 11 feet long, but inside it's 7 football fields. I'm obviously misquoting, but you know what I'm saying. Then who the fuck knows? But for our perspective and Newtonian physics being what it is, it seems like it's more likely that it's playing hell with your perception rather than actively. But we can't fucking know, obviously.
Yeah, especially if it is some kind of like interdimensional thing, like your perception of it will be all fucked up.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess. I don't know. I'm assuming.
Like us, Jennings had no way of knowing. And being a mid-60s teen whose school likely did not offer intro to quantum theory, he just went with his gut and assumed he was looking at an odd array of inexplicably shape-shifting UFOs. So he went not with the perception gambit, with the I'm looking at these things and they're changing shape and size, and fuck it, that must be what's happening, which is fair. Trusting his eyes. It was at this point, when perhaps he'd believed that he'd already had more than his fair share of strange, that the weirdness in Jennings' life got cranked up to 11. That's a shout out to Spinal Tap there. Sometime in June or July of 1967, unlike the other odd events in his life, an exact date wasn't given. Jennings, a newly minted high school graduate, found himself waking up in a daze. A quick check of the bedside clock told him that it was almost 3 a.m., and for reasons he could not explain, the underwear-clad 18-year-old found himself leaving his bedroom and stumbling toward the front door in what he referred to as a semi-waking state. In a somnambulistic stupor, Jennings unbolted the lock and walked out into the sticky early summer night. In a slow but steady pace, the teen found himself wandering in a meadow about a quarter mile away from his parents' property. When he finally arrived at his destination, Jennings suddenly snapped out of his almost trance-like state, but before he could come to grips with what had just happened, he was confronted by a sight that would rock him to his core. Hovering above the field before him, Jennings bore witness to a colossal craft that he would later claim was about the size of a football field. Though he estimated this mammoth object to be at least 25 to 30 feet high, this report was sadly bereft of details regarding the object's overall appearance. So we don't know, is it a super saucer? Is it a giant walnut with a crystal top? Like straight out of Martha Stewart's fucking pantry or something, like his mom saw? We don't fucking know. But that's all right. We know it's fucking big. Entranced by the sight before him, Jennings was startled by an abrupt burst of ethereal illumination that he said resembled, quote, 1,000 flashbulbs going off at once, end quote. Despite the odd object's blinding glare, he was also able to see it had a row of red and blue lights flashing around the perimeter. With the brilliant white light bearing down on him, a rush of adrenaline-fueled horror rippled through his body. Without wasting another second, Jennings turned away from the hovering fortress and ran as fast as his legs would carry him in the direction of his home. To make matters even worse, the terrified teen was shocked when an inhuman voice resonated in his head stating that they would soon return. This voice was quickly followed by a loud buzzing sound that cut through the warm air.
It's a weird way to have a greeting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really
I'll be
weird.
back.
Yeah.
We'll be back. See ya. We'll be back.
Like, no, don't. How about that?
Yeah.
Stay away.
Yeah.
Yeah, do me a favor.
Yeah.
I'm in my undies in the middle of the field, blind.
Yeah.
Leave me alone.
Yeah.
That honestly just sounded like, ugh.
That
Who wants
sucks.
to wake up?
It's very
to that?
invasive. Nobody.
Yeah, it's a bummer.
I mean, can't I at least put on some trance
Yeah.
jeans and a trance tee
Yeah.
Yeah.
before I go on my trance walk to the trance
Yeah.
field?
Yeah,
See
well,
the fucking UFO?
you know?
Yeah.
Dicks.
It's too bright. I just hate when people turn lights on.
The lights like
without
that,
warning.
especially how bright
that's
that
the
is,
worst.
it's just like,
Yeah.
blinding
Yeah.
as fuck.
Yeah. No, he's definitely he's
Lights.
running right in pure night blind
Yeah.
blackness at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hoping he can smell his parents' house.
Retina's burned.
Almost against his better instincts, the still sprinting Jennings looked over his shoulder just in time to see the monolithic machine launch about 300 feet into the air before soaring off in the direction of nearby Morgantown, which I think has its own monster, but we'll save that for another day. In less than 10 seconds, the thing had gone from consuming his field of vision to being nowhere in sight. But this incredible incident was not yet over. As Jennings neared his house, the telepathic. Why can I not say this word
Telepathic.
anymore? Forgot what it was the other week.
Yeah, you
And
did.
now it's telefucking-pithic.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm just ashamed. I'm ashamed to be me right now.
It's all right,
okay.
man. It happens. Sometimes we forget words.
But
you
that
go.
word, telepathic, it's been a part of my vocabulary since I was a wee lad.
You know,
Sometimes
there's
you
only,
think about a word so much that you forget it's a word.
there's only
Does
so
that
much
make
room up
sense?
here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like when you look at a word on paper so much that
true.
you're like, oh my God, is this word real anymore?
Yeah, yeah, starts looking weird, sounding
Yeah.
weird.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a thing.
Thank you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's normal.
That's why I love you guys.
It's okay, man.
It's a great
Yeah.
support system.
Yeah.
It happens.
We're here for you.
All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
I mean, don't do it again, but we're here for you.
Ah!
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. There's nothing
All
wrong with
right.
being a telepath.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, fucking, you're Captain fucking Tidbutts, all right?
Oh my God.
And
Jess.
get your shit
I
together.
forgot about the tidbutts.
Yeah.
Okay.
Collect your tidbutts and get your telepathic shit together.
I'm going.
all right?
I'm going to the beginning of the sentence.
Here we go.
As Jennings neared his house, the telepathic transmission continued with the same strange voice saying, in what one can only assume was an exasperated tone, "We're tired, seeking peace," adding that their species was keeping an eye on us and would soon communicate again. End quote. And telepathic quote. With that, the alien voice ominously intoned that Jennings would remember very little about the encounter until just before the second contact. Nerves frayed and presumably exhausted, Jennings went back to bed and did his best to resume his normal life without spending an inordinate amount of time dreading the so-called second contact, and having no way of realizing that this incident would, in fact, forever change the trajectory of his young life. But that fateful moment was still a year away. For chronological purposes, we are going to, for this moment, gloss over Jennings' infamous 1968 encounter with the insidious exsanguinator known as the Vegetable Man. What the fuck, Rob? The Vegetable Man. And jump ahead to the early months of America's outrageous year-long bicentennial celebration, specifically August of 1976.
Oh, shit. All right.
Now an Air Force and Vietnam veteran in his mid-20s, Jennings Frederick had managed to go on with his life, comfortable in the assumption that, for all of the uncanny interludes he'd remembered all too clearly, that at least his encounter with the humongous UFO in the summer of 1967 had been relatively tame by comparison. But little could he have suspected that long-held illusion was about to be shattered. Toward the end of August, Jennings, while at a gathering at a friend's house, quote, suddenly recalled the entire encounter, end quote. While he didn't elaborate on exactly how the memories returned, based on this quote, it sounds less like a trickle that slowly began to reform a long-forgotten picture and more like a deluge that knocked him on his ass like a panic attack and an existential crisis got together and laid a memory bomb baby in his psyche. Maybe it's a little elaborate, but I feel like I've had this kind of experience.
I
and
think
it's
I have
terrible.
too, yeah.
just all of a sudden an explosion of like panic and horror and what the fuck just happened.
Yep.
I mean, yeah, it's like a traumatic flashback.
Right.
Yep.
Right. But however it happened, Jennings was now in possession of a full-fledged recollection of what had happened to him during his nearly nude walkabout. And this is how it went down. Jennings recalled, as he always had, the harrowing moment when he was standing before the monumental UFO above the field. But this time, new and terrifying memories were being added to this already alarming recollection at a lightning pace. Jennings had not, as he always remembered, immediately sprinted away from the towering vessel. No, he now remembered how he'd been whisked up into the air by a powerful unseen force. Frightened and reeling, Jennings found himself being sucked up under the object and into a gaping 10-foot circular portal in the base of the craft. So now we're getting to the nitty-gritty, and he didn't just get away scot-free.
No,
This
no.
makes a little more sense for the things they said.
Yeah. That's why we're jumping ahead to the recollection. Well, we'll be resuming normal chronology, with the end of the episode and going further. But it's important, just because it happened in 67. So that's why we're addressing it as it happened. Once inside, gravity evidently reasserted itself, and the young man found himself standing on a floor that looked like it was made of luminous silver. The room itself was not described, save for the fact that it was bathed in an eerie greenish glow. Jennings later noted that everything seemed to emit light, but there were no light fittings, adding that the luminescence looked, quote, much like the hands of a watch in the dark. It was at this point that Jennings' case notes once again become a little murky. He claimed that no sooner than he arrived inside the ship that he, like so many other alleged abductees, became the subject of a thorough medical examination. But unlike the notoriously invasive probes performed by the damnable Greys, Jennings claimed that the procedure was neither violent nor intrusive and that he remained fully clothed while a group of quote-unquote beings utilized a kind of computer that could perform the examination, end quote. The part of this account that is less clear, however, is what the creatures who analyzed him actually looked like. Oddly, for an experiencer and investigator who made it a habit to make such detailed notes regarding his encounters with the unknown, we are left to speculate as to the appearance of these evidently ET medtechs. Following his exam, these enigmatic organisms, or for all we know, automatons, or AI, or whatever the fuck they are, we don't know, led Jennings to an altogether more austere and infinitely more frightening being, who is introduced as the entity charged with the governance of a vast swath of galactic quadrant which happened to encompass our own solar system. Enter Commander Zarcon. Much lauded.
Oh, yeah.
All right,
Little
well,
known.
Finally.
He's here.
Yeah. I'm not sure if Jennings bowed, but I probably would have done at least a little curtsy.
Yeah.
Because I mean, when you run into this motherfucker, I mean, he's in charge of our whole solar system.
Yeah, what do you do?
You gotta pay a little bit of respect.
Like solid handshake, a bro hug,
Oh, that's a little intimate.
dap him up, be like, "What up, dog?"
Dude, no,
Yeah.
that's how you get zapped. That's how you get fucking
man.
fucked up.
Maybe Zarcon's looking for a friend.
Maybe
Maybe
he
that's
is.
Well,
exactly what
maybe.
he
Little
wants.
fist bump.
You know
Yeah.
what? I have an advantage over the rest of you. I know that Zarcon is not looking for a friend.
Okay, all right, cool.
It
Fine.
seems, yeah. like
That's my
he's-
problem.
Chris, you
Yeah,
would have assumed.
okay.
Chris would have assumed
Not.
already not to befriend the
I know.
Zarcon.
Yeah.
I'm here to help you guys out. If you run into a Zarcon, keep a healthy, respectful distance.
Okay,
Avert your eyes. Be humble.
it's fine. No fun.
Oh, that's hard.
It's fine. It's fine.
I know it's hard because we're all young, rowdy Americans with, beaming with eagle pride. But fucking, we're just
Well,
going to
yeah.
have to learn to be
Oh,
humble
not that
in the
again.
face of this Zarcon.
All right, fine. I'll also be quick. Get humble. All right,
Okay,
here we are.
humbled.
You
We're
ready?
humbled. All right, let's
Thank you.
Let's do this.
In later testimonials that the young eyewitness sent to investigators like the aforementioned, at least in last episode, Gray Barker, who is either a lying liar from Liar Town or a misunderstood ufological genius, probably a lot of both,
It's okay.
Jennings described the long robe-clad commander as being a somewhat masculine figure, being somewhere between 7 and 10 feet tall. If you noted a marked disparity in the estimated height, then good on you.
Mm.
But what might seem like a clear-cut case of a kid being piss-poor at approximating sizes is actually much, much weirder. First off, it turns out that the highfalutin commander was too good to walk and was always floating at least a couple of feet off the silvery surface of his ship. But that wasn't Jennings' only problem in judging his host's size. As the gravity-defiant Zarcon, not unlike the multiple UAPs that Fredericks had witnessed over the years, was constantly, and for reasons quite unknown, fluctuating in size.
Yeah.
Everything.
Everything is fluctuating in size.
Yeah, bizarre.
It really is.
Some weird time-space thing, maybe?
Quite unlike anything I've ever encountered in all of the ufological lore I've read.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying there's never been a size shift in anything. Of course, it happens. But like with this kind of consistency in both biological or ostensibly, well, maybe not biological. We'll be getting to that in a second. But in, I guess, living things and inanimate objects, it seems fucking weird. Though we don't know if the ships are living and we don't know if Zarcon's fucking not a machine. We don't fucking know.
True.
So it's weird.
Okay.
Jennings further described, and thankfully for us, illustrated, and I think Mark will be putting that on the website, the illustration that he did.
Yes, the illustration will be available at cryptonautpodcast.com on the post for this episode, and it will be on our Instagram as well.
Nice. So Jennings further described and illustrated this erratic entity, showing a pale white humanoid creature with a massive head, no noticeable nose save for a pair of nostril-like slits that flared dramatically out to the sides, a lipless slash for a mouth, and large pointed ears, sized somewhere between a Vulcan and a Hopkinsville goblin. So not eensy-weensy, not super huge, but pretty big. But far and away, his most striking features were this thing's huge, teardrop-shaped eyes, which wrapped around the sides of his skull and had what looked, to the farm-raised Jennings, like a film of skin covering them, not unlike the eyes of chickens.
Oh, we're
chicken
back
eyes,
to the
back
chicken.
home.
Yeah,
back
man.
home to chicken eyes.
Okay.
All right.
Sounds kind of pretty.
I mean, maybe. I don't know. I
I
mean,
think
I'm
it's
not,
the eyes.
I didn't Google it. I'm not super familiar with chicken eyes.
Can I look at the picture?
Yeah, when they get that weird like thing on there, right there. There you go.
So it seems like a translucent film, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, and
Okay.
I know like gators and other creatures have like the tertiary eyelids.
Yeah, they get that.
Oh, they got the
Yeah.
membrane
Yeah.
thing, right? That
Yeah.
comes.
So maybe it's something like that, because birds and reptiles are obviously have common ancestors, as I guess all life does.
Do they?
Well, all right, depending on your belief
No,
system.
they do. They totally do.
Fuck. All right. The witness further claimed that the alien had extremely long arms terminating in large four-fingered hands. Zarcon's lower extremities, assuming there were any, were concealed by his flowing robe. Darker yet, as if his height and appearance weren't already unnerving enough, Jennings could not help but to become engulfed in the waves of dread and hostility that seemed to be surging from this massive monstrosity.
This dude is one big bad vibe.
Exactly.
Oh boy. All right.
Finally, Commander Zarcon broke the terrible permeating silence with a telepathic voice that, to Jennings, quote, sounded very much like mumbling or someone trying to talk with a mouthful of food, end quote. And that is a weird thing.
Mumble rap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because when
The
you're
OG
watching...
mumble rapper, Zarcon.
Yeah, exactly. You expect an austere... Exactly. Yeah. But no, you're just getting like, and who knows? I mean, English words might be hard to pronounce in his mind. I mean, I guess why would pronunciation be weird if it's telepathic? I don't know.
Yeah, you're not actually using your mouth. Like you're telepathically mumbling to somebody is a dick move.
Yeah.
It really
Yeah,
seems
but
like
It
even,
really is.
So why would the other
in
people have to
movies,
do
when
it?
you hear
And he
someone
can't?
talking to you telepathically, it still sounds like that person's voice.
which is the caveat
True.
of cinema and fantasy. But
In
who
movies,
knows
right?
Right.
if in reality telepathy would work that way?
No, because you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't have the audible. You wouldn't know.
Maybe you would
Right,
hear
it's-
it in your own internal voice.
Yeah, no,
like your
that's-
brain might reprocess
Yes.
it.
Oh, that'd be weird.
Yeah,
I mean,
if
that's
someone
how
was
it would
talking
have
to
to
you,
work.
but you heard it in your own voice coming
And-
at you, that
and
would be
you're a-
fucking weird.
You're a secret mumbler. You didn't even know.
Oh.
You're like, fuck.
Well, you're not the mumbler. You're just.
dude.
Mind mumbler.
Yeah.
I'm mumbling.
Yes.
Oh fuck.
So anyway, that's fucking weird, and it's addressed. Stranger still was the fact that, well, Zarcon's cruel mouth never moved an inch.
Cruel.
His temple seemed to increase in size with each statement, which I can't personally help but to picture as a pulsating
That's
bladder
exactly what I
effect
picture.
from an early 80s
Yeah.
monster
Same.
movie, like
The werewolf
Being,
transforming, going
Beast from
Like,
Within.
yeah,
Exactly.
like on the
100%.
cheeks and yeah.
Wait, did I dream this, or did the commander have a longer name?
Oh no, he has a name and a place. I haven't addressed.
Okay.
He hasn't brought that up yet.
Okay, because I was going to say, when we ended the last
yeah.
ep, I swear it was like, Commander Zarcon.
No, he had a title.
I can
Yeah.
tell you right now if you want to know.
No,
or you wanna wait
I want
for
to be
it.
surprised.
Because it's etched into my memory forever now.
Manager of store 726.
Yeah.
Wisconsin.
Yeah,
Exactly.
right. That's it.
Wow.
No, it was like ellipson or something.
Oh,
It wasn't epsilon.
It was
but
not epsilon. You were absolutely
right.
right.
Espelon or ellipson. Yeah.
Esplanade. Esperanto.
Right.
Okay. All right. That'll be coming very soon, baby. Jennings later wrote that Zarcon explained that his species was, quote, not physical in the sense of things we consider as being solid in nature, end quote. And let's fucking savor that one for a minute.
Yeah.
I'm here, but not solid,
he's-
but wacky.
He's that guy with a fish T-shirt on. He's like, you don't get it, man. You don't
We're like
get
here,
it.
but we're not, man.
Yeah, dude.
We're not. We're not solid. Like
I'm sorry.
I fucking hate that.
You're gonna laugh at me so much, but this reminds me so much of this romance book I'm reading right now about Hades. Hades plays the god of the underworld,
oh yeah.
and he's so upset. He's like, "No, you don't understand. I'm not taking souls."
No, no.
And he tries to explain it
Is
like
he trying
this.
to get Persephone back?
Yes.
Of course he is.
Oh yeah. Oh right.
That's
Well,
his
no,
deal.
he's
Oh,
trying to
boy.
get her in the first place.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Well,
so this is an origin story.
sadly,
Yeah.
he wins, and it's not great for her.
Then. Well, I don't know if this is redoing it.
Oh, no,
maybe
you're right.
there's-
If it's romance, who knows? Maybe it's
Yeah.
good. Maybe it's
Yeah.
all willing. Maybe it's Beauty and the Beast.
But it's everything is explained like this. Like,
No,
oh, it's
man.
not like
You don't understand.
you don't understand. Like,
You're right.
And you
I'm
know
just
what?
here, and you're just like doing it.
It's so funny.
Just
Those-
like listen to my guitar, man.
Those
not
tropes
me.
are so asinine, but you know the funny thing is only gorgeous dudes ever could pull it off. It was never like brooding, truly artistic people. You can't do it. You have to be super hot to pull off the
Well.
dumb shit.
You have to be Jason Momoa level to do that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You got to be to the extreme.
yeah.
If I try this with Nicole, she's never touching my penis again.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it's never gonna happen.
You should try it though, and you should tape it, you should film it, and I want to see it.
show it to us. Yeah.
Oh, I have a recommendation for you after the show for a book that she was reading.
Ah, yeah.
Oh, trading
Yeah.
dirty books with Mark's wife.
It's fucking dude. She explained it to me. We'll talk about it later.
If she likes weird fantasy stuff,
But I don't know. Yeah, this is-
Softcore
like-
fantasy.
I don't know. This is called like the devil and the devils and the Duchess or something.
Ooh.
I don't know. It's
Yeah,
too much.
all right.
And before we're done with this,
It's too much.
I think this is as good a time to address it as any. I'm sick of paying for your porn. You are constantly buying porn with my credit card, and God bless you. I want to support your habit.
Oh, you mean books?
Yeah,
Okay.
but for the love of she's not like I'm like
I'm like you.
platinum Pornhub.
Yeah, you're paying for Pornhub Red or whatever it's called. I don't know.
No,
wait,
we,
something-
no, we share an Amazon account, and for some reason, it gets my books keep buying his. I keep using his card to buy my books,
Which
when
really
I'm not
does not
doing
bother
it.
me at
You
all.
can write them off.
Hey, you know what the beautiful thing about it is?
Write them off.
I write off all my research books.
So you get
and
audited,
paid
it's be like-
porn also gets
Yeah.
written off. So
Because there's always monsters
Well,
and
'cause there's
dragons.
monsters and dragons, so
Relatable
it's-
stuff to
Exactly.
this.
Yeah, but is there like hardcore in them?
We'll talk about this off air.
You can just say yeah.
Yeah, she's a young
there's-
professional.
dude,
Yeah, I'm.
are they heaving bosoms and thrusting loins, or do they get more explicit?
That's right. There's
From what
the
I've seen,
romantic
it's
ones. and
very
then there's-
explicit. Even the romantic ones are extremely explicit.
Wow.
Or even I saw some words I was like, oh, my.
Because I remember those dirty books back in the day that like
Dude,
get to the
Nicole
bottom
gonna want you to dress
of
up like
the dresser
Satan,
drawer.
and, like, just be like,
I'm here.
I just got some horns for
Are
you.
you the Duchess? I'm the Satan.
Here's
Yeah.
a cape.
I'll tell you about it later. It's hilarious. All right,
Okay,
back
all right.
to the
Wrapping it back.
episode,
Anyway,
back to
Jesus, all right.
Commander fucking Zarcon.
In case we forgot, Zarcon is neither real nor fake, true nor false.
Yeah.
Yes.
He is everything and nothing, Alpha and Omega.
Okay.
Solid but not.
He is
Yep.
the Zarcon.
There you go.
And he added, and this is for you, Pepe, that they hailed from a planet
Oh.
located in the sector of Triangus Terry Ellipson.
Ellipson, okay.
Not Epsilon.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
I was close.
Which is important to know because we all know where that is. The leader added that his people had been carefully monitoring the progress of the human race for at least 20,000 Earth years. That's important because we don't know Triangus years yet.
Right.
In
Terry.
classic... Thank you. In classic enigmatic entity fashion, Zarcon did not reveal why his people were so interested in our development as a species. So that's just one of those
course he
typical
didn't.
drop knowledge dick moments where it's like, we've been watching you for 20,000 years, which is, I guess, I can't do the math. 1/10 of as long as modern humans have existed, I think. I might
It's
be about
close-ish,
that.
probably.
Why? Who the fuck knows? I mean, who knows?
So his full title is Commander Zarcon
Of
of the
Triangus
Terry
Ellipson.
Ellipson.
Yep.
Word.
Remember it and love it well.
Word.
Are you going to write your own book? And is Zarcon going to be the
I think-
star?
Dude, I think I
Yeah.
might.
I think
The
it's gonna
Lost
happen.
Loves
I
of
think
Zarcon?
Zarcon's misunderstood.
What's under
course
his
he is.
robe?
Well, whatever we could do, what you could understand from him.
Yeah.
Like mumble rapping. all
Here's the thing.
time.
Chris is absolutely right, but the more bad boy he goes, the more Peyton's going to want to fix him and fall in love.
No,
Yeah.
that's
100%.
That's the
Yeah.
deal.
God bless you,
He
baby.
just mumbles sadly and like, no, I can fix you.
Yeah.
Under
Under your
I knew you loved me.
what's under your throbbing robe, Zarcon? Yeah,
Wow. The Throbbing Robes of Zarcon, book 1.
there you go.
Throbbing I wouldn't. That would turn me off.
Yeah.
Better throbbing robes.
I didn't come up with a title. Don't look at me.
I'm saying. I'm asking you.
He's giving me, feedback for my future writing.
Yeah, just
All right.
Yeah.
throwing
Do
ideas
you
out
want
there.
throbbing robes?
No, I'm gonna come up with it more of like a touch of Zarcon.
Oh, my.
Throbbing robes is so much better.
Yeah, I agree.
No,
Yeah, that will sell.
because no.
I
you
guess
don't
Mark and I are going to
understand.
collaborate on our own
Yeah,
Zarcon book, and
exactly.
you and Chris can be all
No,
classy.
because you have to.
No, I don't want throbbing robes.
I know that's why Mark and I are going to
Yeah.
be writing Throbbing Robes, and you guys can write
Yeah, whatever.
Touch of Zarcon
Touch
or whatever.
of
No,
touch my
because you
hand.
Well,
can't
that's
just give it
that
all
might be
like
too far though.
people like a
That might be too
slow
far.
burn.
I mean,
The throbbing
depends on the
robes
Women like a slow burn.
Right, depends on your audience.
I want to cut to the goddamn chase.
Right.
Stop getting stuck in the goddamn dryer. What is
All
your
right.
problem?
I'm not
There
here to
you
talk
go.
about sexual paradigms. I'm here to talk about Zarcon.
All right.
We are bringing it back
Here
right
we
now.
go. Here we go.
Boom. Whew. All right. It was then that the commander, while floating next to his tighty-whitey clad captive down a sickly green silver-lined corridor, and let's all take a moment for that image to sear itself into our collective consciousness, dropped a cosmic bombshell. That he and his cohorts were not merely militaristic space rulers, they were time travelers as well.
Dun dun dun.
You know, I should be surprised that like, oh no, this is getting crazy. But it just surprises me every time.
I know. You just don't expect, I mean, you don't expect it to get
yeah.
amplified.
No, every time it just goes insane, and then it goes insaner.
Yeah. Oh,
That's
yeah.
how these things tend to go, man. Time travel.
Here's something that's going to be fun because it doesn't make any sense and it'll add to Chris's recipe of weird. Zarcon then added something to the effect that parts of their spacecraft never changed in design due to the fact that it also served as a time machine. How or why consistency in construction might apply to time travel is, of course, anyone's guess. So certain parts of the ship can never
okay.
change because they're involved in time travel, which means that if you
That makes
change
sense. No,
it
I get
into
it.
the future, you can't use it to go back
You might
and
have
forth in
fucked up
time
something
because,
and it never got made or something.
and exactly,
Like, yeah.
you'd always be looking at, oh, now it's curved differently or there's an extra fucking cylinder or some shit.
Yeah, you
You're
might
like, and,
Yes.
and in a weird way, it makes perfect sense, while at the same time, if I really look at it, makes no fucking sense at all. At fucking all.
Yeah.
But there's a part of me that's like, oh no, I get it. And then there's the more rational part of me that's like, what difference does it make? You fucking fix it in the future. You still go future. It doesn't fucking matter. But then there's this fundamental part of me. It's like, because I think time travel, like being corporeal and non-corporeal at the same time, like a quality Zarcon, is something that is more intuitive and less intellectual. And I'm learning to embrace that side of my psyche.
I like
Yeah.
Not well, because it's not my favorite part. But part of me is like, yeah, man, just don't fucking change the furniture. You can go back in time and back to the future. Just keep the couch where it is.
Well, yeah. I mean,
Still
nobody
move
knows.
the couch, bro.
No one ever talks about that in time travel movies, but I'm glad we're finally broaching it.
All right, well, this got deep. This got real
Intimidated.
deep.
Intimidated though he might have been, Jennings, a lifelong believer in aliens, was not about to waste this likely once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to pick this higher life form's brain. And while he seemingly let time travel queries sail past without so much as a how do you do, which really infuriates me, he did inquire as to how the ship's propulsion system worked. Zarcon's telepathic reply was as vague as it was condescending.
Of course it was.
Your limited intelligence could not conceive of such advanced technology. Let it be said that the closest you could come to understanding our propulsion methods would be to present your present concept of a photon spaceship. End quote.
The present concept of a photon
Yeah.
A
spaceship.
photon
So a 67 and I tried to look up what was 1967's version of. I found modern, and that is, the photons go back and forth. It's the most reasonable form of interstellar travel, whereby we might be able to go to another star system within a single human lifetime. But of course, that still is working with the mad restrictions of Newtonian physics. So fuck all that. I don't know what 66 photon fucking level tech was, but apparently that was his way of explaining it. Or, I mean, to go on a limb, somebody making some shit up in the sci-fi way, grasping at straws. I'm not saying that's what Jennings is doing. I'm here to believe the witnesses.
It's oddly specific,
but it is oddly specific.
Your limited intelligence
You
would
dumb
not conceive. Oh my God, he's so rude.
Uh-oh.
Did
You started
hear
to
that
like
too?
him.
Did you hear-
You
did you
started
hear
to
how
like
her
him.
I mean,
went
the
up?
way you said it, though.
Your voice went up. You went rude.
His
Right.
throbbing robes. He's so rude.
Right.
Oh my God, that was totally interest.
That's what I was trying
Oh my
to
God,
do.
I'm telling Ben.
You looked
Zarcon lover.
You looked at me like
I'm telling
so
Ben.
rude. Like I'm going to
Tell him.
agree.
No, I meant like he's so rude.
He had a look in
Okay.
your eye.
Yeah.
I've seen that look before.
No, people will see on video and they'll judge.
Yeah, they're going to be like,
$10 tier will know
Right.
that's exactly
Yeah,
how you meant
exactly.
it.
Look for
This-
the twinkle.
Like, oh, I can
I'm
fix
gonna
this,
highlight
Zarcon.
it when I mix this down.
This bad boy just doesn't know. He's so smart he doesn't realize he's being rude.
you're going to fix him. Don't worry.
I'm going to make him sweet. He's going to be
Yeah.
so good.
You're going to fix him and change his ways.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
It's funny because it's true.
Yeah, it is.
All right.
It is.
The size-shifting creature then pointed to a series of square 3-foot portals spaced out along the wall about 3 feet off the floor. Jennings stared in wonder as these openings emitted a dazzling array of flashing blue and yellow lights. Zarcon, without any seemingly essential elaboration, silently explained to the curious kid that these ports were an integral part of their propulsion system.
You should spit on him.
Yeah.
The ports.
Kick him.
These
Okay.
fucking square holes, 3 by 3, in a wall with green, or sorry, not green,
Fart on him.
blue and yellow makes green. Blue and yellow lights, that's an integral part of the propulsion system that you can't comprehend because it's kind of like your present ignorance of photons.
Fuck with it. Who cares?
Yeah,
Dill.
this also happens to seemingly be the pop culture at this time. What spaceships,
Well,
colory
right.
things.
All right.
All right. It's okay.
We'll be saving that
Well,
for later.
No,
There are a lot of pop culture
we all-
references.
Talk about it in December when this is over.
Yeah, we all
God.
planted that flag real
Yeah.
quick together.
Yeah. We know.
Okay.
All
All right.
It was then that, despite Jennings' ever-growing fear of Zarcon's potentially malevolent intentions, the hubristic human, for reasons known only to him, decided to challenge Commander Zarcon's frankly arrogant assertions that he came from a semi-corporeal species far in advance of the human race. So basically, fucking Jennings is like, I don't believe that you're half solid, half not solid. I don't think you're all that special. Fucking prove it. That's the gist of what the note said.
I like Jennings'
Yeah.
jib.
And you know what? I mean, granted, everyone's a little cocky when they're 18, but to be standing there in your tighty whities with this fucking monolithic fuck all.
What better time to just fucking put your foot down and be like, show me, bitch?
I mean, what
Probably at the
worse
time
time
he said it, not wait until he got the fucking tour. And he's like, well, you know what? Going back to that thing about solid.
He's kind of smart, though. He's getting to lay the land. He's seeing what's going on. But at the very end, be like, you know what? Fucking, I got a challenge for you, Zarcon. Why don't you fucking tell me your shit?
Fair.
You pretentious bitch.
Wow.
Yeah.
In your fucking underwear.
I mean, I think it's
You're already at your most vulnerable. Fuck it.
Is
Maybe,
this
I
going to
don't
be
know.
like a Zarcon Jennings enemies to lovers?
oh my.
Oh,
See, you're looking at this
Oh.
narrative.
Yes,
boy.
you're,
This
you're doing the
text,
book again.
Yeah,
You're
you're
doing
making
the
the
book.
book, yeah.
a completely different point of view.
yep.
This is an ostensibly real event that was in no way, shape, or form intended to make lovers out of anybody involved.
Yeah, you know what? Cut that part out.
Yep. No, no,
Yeah.
keep it.
Oh, no.
You're good. You're good.
I'm going to close up on it and make it really loud.
And be like,
and just put it on a loop.
Pay's getting way too deep into this
Right.
one. Holy shit.
I mean, but you might not be wrong. Who knows?
You know,
Who knows?
maybe things happened afterwards.
All right. We
Okay.
really got to finish this
We're getting there.
story.
It's a journey. It's a journey, Chris.
Oh shit.
So,
right.
seemingly peeved by his impertinence, nay, insolence. Let me go through the whole thesaurus.
Yeah.
Zarcon raised his hands and covered his eyes. As he did so, his head began to inflate like a Macy's Turkey Day balloon. Jennings stepped back as the colossal cranium creature then pointed to a port side wall, whereupon he showed his telekinetic prowess by sliding back a large panel with thought alone, or maybe a remote control hidden in his robes. We don't know. Through the now open panel, Jennings could see outside and quickly ascertained that the UFO was still perched over the field from which he had been abducted. From this vantage point, the teen could see parts of the huge flying machine in the foreground and his house in the distance. Then, as if things weren't already weird enough, Zarcon's body suddenly vanished and, quote, only his head remained, which enlarged to about the size of a washing machine.
What the fuck is happening?
I'm
Okay.
so confused.
All right. Well, he said he didn't believe him, and now he's like, oh, watch this.
Oh, he pissed him off.
And now he's
Okay,
a
but
giant
that
head.
has nothing to do with him being solid or not. That's not even the question.
Well,
he
he just dismissed his body. Like, I'm
Yeah.
here to say, like, I don't even
That's
need
still-
to touch. I don't even need to point anymore. He pointed at the panel. It moved.
I feel like
And then he's like, you know what? I don't even need hands now. Now I'm just a head. Now
Yeah,
I'm a washing
a
machine-sized
giant
head.
okay.
And I'm showing you who's boss. Or
Weird.
not.
It's a weird flex, but I would be like, all right, maybe you're right. Maybe you are fucking ethereal and non-corporeal and corporeal at the same time and not knowing what's what.
Well, by
still
the
feel like
time-
that didn't answer the question.
He's a fucking
Well, probably probably didn't.
like a
but-
5 by 5
Didn't
foot
at all.
head, or however big a washing machine is, 4.5. I don't know.
I don't know.
By the time you're a large floating head, you got to start like believing some of the shit that he's saying. I would think,
maybe.
at least giving a little deference.
It impressed me. I'd be like, all right, you got me. Fine.
Right.
My bad.
All right.
Do it again.
Wow.
Do it again.
Do it again.
Get your body back.
Yeah, get your body
Yeah,
back.
Shrink
where's-
your fucking head.
Yeah, tiny head, big body. Where is it? What are you gonna do? Make your feet alligators. There you
Oh
go.
my God.
Yeah.
What's under your robe? Huh? What's under your robe?
Ah, yeah. What's under your robe? Yeah.
Conveniently, that part of your body disappeared.
Oh. See.
Wow. That is going to play hell with throbbing robes.
Yeah, throbbing robes.
Yeah.
So there's a movie, I'm being Jennings, and I'm going to completely
Yep.
flip the script. I'm just going to ask all these dumb questions.
I love it.
I'm there.
We're doing it.
I'm there for it.
Back to the actual case, though. Jennings could only stare at this strange synthesis of the hologram of the great and powerful
Yeah,
Wizard of Oz
That's what I was thinking.
and the big-headed, booze-filled aliens designed by the late great monster maker Paul Blaisdell for AIP's 1957 non-epic Invasion of the Saucer Men. Cult movie side note, in 1965, self-professed schlockmeister Larry Buchanan was hired by AIP to do a zero-budget 16mm full-color made-for-TV remake of said Saucermen film titled The Eye Creatures, starring the inimitable beach party Filipino exploitation flick veteran and 18 producer and opening credits narrator John Ashley. The more you know.
Oh,
shit,
nice
all
little
right.
drop, Rob. Yeah.
Back to Jennings Frederick and the giant floating, not at all happy head of Zarcon. The now disembodied commander told the team that he would forget the experience until they communicated with him again, ominously adding that no harm would come to him if he cooperated.
Now there's an if there.
Well,
There really
what does
is.
that mean?
Yeah.
In 1976, even after the memories came flooding back to him, Jennings still had no idea what Zarcon had meant by that last statement or what it was they wanted him to cooperate with.
Yeah, me too,
So they
Jennings.
didn't tell him like you gotta cooperate, but
The
they're
fuck
not
is
gonna
it?
tell him
Wait,
how.
Not
Right.
a word. Not a fucking word. Worse still, with these revived memories came a renewed fear of his abductor and his unknown agenda. In correspondence Jennings had with other paranormal investigators, he makes clear that he believed that Zarcon was indeed an antagonistic being. In a report detailed September 8th, 1976, he states the following, quote, "Although I fear filing this report for dangers of hostilities on their behalf, I feel I must file it anyways, as I can surely say that this is a true report and shakes me to my soul in depth. Perhaps this information may also assist other researchers and investigators of the UFO phenomenon." End quote. Courageous words from someone who had every reason to fear the worst. Jennings' encounter with Commander Zarcon and his
Commandant.
acolytes would eventually be published by James R. Harris in an issue of his presumably self-published Journal of Alien Exploits, UFOcus? It's UFO.
Yeah.
UFOcus.
You a focus?
So UFOcus?
You focus, yeah.
UFOcus? I don't know.
Weird
But
name for a book, but
hybridization.
okay, it's fine.
Regarding Jennings' experience, Harris would write, he feels that this encounter, while probably one of Keel's cosmic hoaxes, is most likely due to the similarities in appearance and accounts to other cases, end quote. For those unfamiliar, John Keel's lesser-known, though absolutely essential 1970 treatise on non-human intelligence, Operation Trojan Horse, is the book where Keel, to quote the Amazon blurb, shredded the then trendy nuts and bolts extraterrestrial hypothesis of UFOs in favor of one that linked UFOs to a variety of paranormal and supernatural phenomenon that have taken place throughout history, end quote. In essence, it was an increasingly paranoid Keel's endorsement of a surely Mark Storrs approved umbrella theory that in part posited that trickster and ultimately nefarious ultra-terrestrials are playing hell with the human race, utilizing the UFO and other paranormal phenomena as a sort of quote-unquote cosmic hoax on us, a less advanced species. Anyone intrigued by ultra-terrestrials, by the way, go back to episode 124 of the Cryptonaut podcast. You can find out our thoughts on ultra-terrestrials there.
Also, too, be sure to check out Operation Trojan Horse by John Keel.
Yeah, it's a fascinating book.
It's a really good book.
It really is.
Yeah, it's awesome.
To me, this theory, though intriguing, reeks of the frustration, exasperation, and mental fatigue that plagues anyone who stares too long and hard into the often contradictory and always puzzling paranormal abyss, not to bring Nietzsche into this already overcrowded subject. And reaching the limits of rationalization throws their hands into the air and proclaims to anyone or thing that will listen that the whole shebang is one giant shit show arranged by an assemblage of insidious agents whose single organizing principle seems to be that, above all, chaos must reign supreme. At which point these three-eyed fuckknuckles flip anyone in the human race curious enough to look a big-fisted bird before racing off into the ether on an interdimensional Harley powered by werewolf shit and fairy dust. Clearly, I'm not a huge fan of this.
Yeah.
That is probably my favorite breakdown of that you've ever done. Don't ever do it again. Leave it right there.
That's fair.
That's where it has to lay. I want that on a fucking sticker.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
Science at its best is an ever-expanding set of tools that must, even against the stagnation and stubbornness of great minds trapped in old paradigms, dilate to contain new principles and ideas. Trickster gods and magic whales may well be a prominent part of our ever-expanding reality, and maybe they truly do fuck with us from time to time, but I refuse to believe that they are the final word on the subject, and that is my final word on the subject.
All right,
until I say it again. Be that as it may, Jennings Frederick clearly felt as if some form of higher intelligence was playing hell with his life and that of his family. But like so many other experiencers, he was unable to understand why. But these were the thoughts that were testing the limits of his sanity in 1976. Whereas back in the summer of 67, he had no idea what had just happened, save that he was running like hell to get away from a city-sized UFO that had somehow lured him out of the house in his skivvies, which, to be fair, is quite traumatic enough. But even after the panting Jennings slammed the door of his parents' house behind him before trudging back to bed and presumably a sleepless night, little could the recent grad have suspected that, in almost 1 year to the day, he would be assaulted by a being so bizarre, so unlike anything he might have imagined, that it would not only terrify and fascinate him for the rest of his life, but offer him a permanent place in paranormal lore. That's right, folks. This time next week, the Veggie Man cometh.
Oh, Veggie Man Redux Part 2,
This
Commander
is the price.
Zarcon.
This is the price he pays.
Yep.
Now, are we done with Zarcon here, or is he?
Oh, there might be a little.
Might be a crossover?
Might be a little. He might peek back from behind the
You
veil.
never
Be
know.
like, howdy.
Yeah, it is interesting though that like Frederick Jennings is having all of these experiences.
Or Jennings Frederick.
I'm sorry, Jennings.
I know,
Frederick.
it's so hard.
I
I know.
I did that in the last episode too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Jennings is having all these experiences, like his mom with the devil, the
Yeah.
Veggie Man,
The size changing
the
UFOs.
weird UFOs, and then all of a sudden the
Well, and
whole
Zarcon.
Zarcon,
Yeah.
the Zarcon thing that we just obviously went through here. So, I mean, I guess it does make me wonder, like, is he being like targeted for a reason?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that always the question, though? And this is where skeptics, I understand, get up in arms because they're like,
100%.
oh my God, all this happens to one person, all this self-aggrandizement and, making yourself the center of this 3-ring fucking cosmic circus. And I get that point of view. Like, yeah, it kind of seems like it could be either mental illness or like an orchestrated hoax for money, for fucking some sort of dubious amount of fame, even though I am inclined to believe witnesses more often than not. On the other hand, it really does seem like certain people are targeted. Now, whether this is because some people would suggest certain bloodlines, like, getting to Merovingian crazy shit. Some people would also suggest that if you're able to see these things, if for some reason your genetic makeup or whatever the fuck it is that transpires inside you is allowing your perceptions to recognize these things, then these things recognize you recognizing them, and that draws them to you.
I can see that.
In which case, it's like, well, I guess that sort of makes sense.
I mean, isn't that kind of like what happened to Whitley Strieber? He kind of like started with the whole communion thing, and then the next thing you know, it just took off into a whole like life of its own. Where it just became like so.
I'm not a Strieber scholar by a long shot. I've read his first bunch of books. And he definitely thinks that it has something to do with the afterlife, or at least in his early books he did, and that the aliens weren't aliens, but like us evolved, and our souls transcended into something. I'm paraphrasing it,
something like that.
Yeah,
but it's all revolving around him, kind of like John Edmonds.
Well, that's what
there's a couple of other people that we've covered. That
in all fairness, and in deference to the people that say this is happening, we're all the star of our fucking personal movies.
Yeah,
we are all the star of our show. We are the protagonist of our own fucking novels. And so when you're writing about the things that are happening to you, even if you're writing about things that are happening to the people around you, you still know what's happening to you first, foremost, and most acutely.
Yeah.
So yes, on one hand, it's still sometimes certain accounts really do reek of self-aggrandizement. But other times it's like, well, how are you going to write something like this? If you're going through this like craziness, you're going to write it from your own fucking perspective.
Yeah.
And, deference to Jennings Frederick, William saw some shit. His mom saw some shit. His dad came real close to seeing some shit.
It's not just him. Other people in his family are all being exposed to this. So, which is interesting.
And it's not like he got any perks from this.
No.
You
don't, unfortunately.
No. Like he did not get he wasn't talking about it at the end of his life. Not, to flash forward ahead, he definitely was not. Like he wasn't enjoying being celebrated as being the Veggie Man guy and everything else, which again doesn't mean it wasn't a lie, but it really seems to indicate like if it was, then it really backfired on you, because if you spread this lie to make yourself famous for whatever reason.
Or you know what? Conversely, though, I mean, on the other end of that spectrum, like if the phenomena is drawn to him, it is
right,
and he's just its little target that it just kind of shows up in. Well, not him, his family too, but
I mean, some people are just more prone to getting bit by mosquitoes.
Me.
Mosquitoes just love them. Yeah,
that's
one
true.
of them.
That's
like
true.
Me too. They love the taste, whatever it is. I don't know why. It's not like I bathe in citronella, but fucking, it could be a pheromone. It could be any number of things that you can't figure out. But for some reason, things that don't bother other people bother certain people.
Or
maybe paranormal shit works that way.
The extraterrestrials are one step ahead as always. They know that how we are. A bunch happens to one person, ton of people just, delusions of grandeur. This person is crazy. If every person had one paranormal experience, we would all come together. Be like, wow, we've all had this. They're like, no, I'm going to pick and choose. Isolate them. I'm going to be a jerk.
Oh,
Can't do it to everyone, because then they'll know. And then they'll work together. They don't want us to work together.
Oh, shit. Look at you, conspiratorial as fuck.
Yeah, this is like ultra-terrestrial fucking 5D chess.
Wow.
Holy shit.
I'm just pulling stuff out of my ass.
They're psychic terrorists.
Well, we do that every week.
Never,
welcome to the show.
That's what
do
we
I
do
have
every
any
week.
basis? No.
No.
Sometimes I just,
Sometimes you got to speak
just
from
think.
your gut and your ass.
I just think things.
Psychic terrorists. This is what they do. They just focus on one family for no apparent reason, and they just fuck with them, and there you go. And then, he has an experience, and he remembers it years later, apparently, randomly at a party, which is kind of strange, but maybe something triggered it. Who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe
that's the thing. I would love to, and Cole was telling me there's two things that might offer us more information that are currently unavailable. One is an audio tape that Jennings Frederick made telling his stories, and I think it was being either sold or distributed through ufological circles way back, maybe in the 70s. I don't know. And no one has found a copy of this, at least that I know of. Secondly, he was working on a book, and he was trying to get in contact with their family to see if anyone maybe had some, pages of the manuscript, obviously unpublished. But we don't have access to these things, so we don't know. Like, did you see like a firefly and it triggered a memory of the flight, or a flashbulb of a Polaroid?
No, right.
We don't know what triggered it or why.
So there could be something, there to it.
When did he pass away? Sorry.
Good question. And I'm not at that part yet. I'm not going to say. I think it was this century, but I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah.
We'll get to that when we get to it. Yeah.
Well, there it is. Veggie Man Redux Part 2, Commander Zarcon. Thank you for joining us. Robert, before we get out of here, we have some shout-outs to do for the good folks. Support us over there at patreon.com/Cryptonaut podcast with all the weekly bonus content
Bless their
that
hearts.
you can just fucking soak up.
Wow.
Just sit.
It is a lot.
Sitting in it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Like I'm seeing like clips and I'm not even remembering us doing them.
Yeah.
No. And I'm like, oh my God.
There's a lot. And,
there's a lot.
yes. No, we appreciate everyone that's on this tier, especially. Like, I mean, we've over doubled what I thought we were going to get on this
For the $10,
yeah, for this tier.
For
And
sure.
so like,
Yeah.
Thank you.
I mean, I hope that means that you like what you're getting. So.
Yeah. I mean, jump in there,
I
leave
assume
comments
it is,
and
but-
whatnot.
Oh yeah, feedback.
And,
Feedback's good.
And-
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah,
More of
totally.
what you want.
Yep, as long as it's nice.
Yeah, or constructive criticism and couched in very polite words because we
Yeah.
are sensitive people.
Yeah. I know. I was
Thank
just looking
you.
out for you.
Thank you.
Just don't read it. That's all you got to do.
Yeah, I know.
That's
Believe me.
Perfect. That's all you got to do. Is just be like, yeah, whatever. It's fine.
Yeah.
Moving on my day.
Yeah.
Moving on my day.
Yeah.
There it is.
I know.
Yeah.
Robert,
Yeah.
let's do this.
First, apocalypse. No. I'm
Uh-oh.
going to read this right. Let me get the glasses down to the tip of my nose. Apocalypse.
Apocalypse.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, indeed. Subtle.
Yeah. There's no hidden.
No hidden agenda there.
I
Just
like it.
dead up.
Thank you for your continued
Oh
support.
my god. Can Zarcon fall in love with a apocalypse?
Dude,
Oh my
Zarcon
God,
versus
Chris.
Apocalypse.
Should we write it?
I think
Okay,
that's,
You can make the soundtrack.
I don't know. I think that's more of a throbbing robes character.
You.
I mean, you guys can have them too. We'll both do what we want with them.
We'll figure it out. I got a couple ideas. Don't worry.
All right, it's going to be
Couple
tight.
ideas.
He
We're
doesn't
gonna have
even
a
read.
little creative writing competition. Don't even read.
Yeah.
I read enough for all of
I
us.
read? What do you mean? You don't think I read? Wow.
I mean,
Holy
do you
shit.
though?
Wow, I just got Zarcon by fucking painting
Wow.
over here. You don't even read.
The closest thing you're reading would be a graphic novel.
I've never seen him read.
I mean, I am reading Final Crisis, so yeah,
See?
you're not wrong.
How many final? Oh my god, how many
I mean,
ultimate, infinite,
Yeah.
final?
Is it-
final
is
ultimate?
it literally 3,000 pages of Crisis at this point?
No, Final Crisis is pretty. It's pretty cool. But I do have my Crisis collection that I tend to go through like once a year. I love rereading them.
I'm kidding. I would
it
never
never
make fun
ends,
of
though.
Mark.
It's okay. It's all right.
I
It's
love
too
you.
late.
Love you too.
All right.
It's okay.
Okay.
It's all right.
Can I keep
We're
reading?
here.
Yeah,
the
go ahead.
patrons?
What you
Please.
did is fine.
Thanks, guys. I love you all. Indicative sarcasm 85.
Thank you so much.
Jeanette Patterson.
Thank you, Jeanette.
Hi.
Maxwell Hill.
What up, Maxwell? We
attorney at
appreciate
law.
it.
Yeah,
It
really
just
though.
sounds like
Hell yeah.
David Hansen.
What up, David? We
All right.
appreciate it so much.
Jeremy Wagner.
Yeah, Jeremy. Thank you.
Elias.
Thank you so much, Elias, for your monthly support.
Taylor South.
Oh, Taylor, we appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Brent Blaze.
Hell yeah, Brant. Love it.
It's a good
Last,
name.
never least, random user.
Random user. There it is. Thank you so
Alright.
much. Again, your
Nice.
continued support over there at patreon.com/Cryptonaut podcast. If you are going to be signing up, I got a hair on my microphone. It's bugging me. On the $10 tier, people can see that.
Yeah.
Man, my beard's like shedding. It's fine. I'm probably getting. I have
It's
all
early
kinds of-
winter. It's time for the shed.
So if you are going to be signing up for Patreon, do not do it in the iOS app. If you have an iPhone, go to Safari, go to Firefox, go to Chrome, go to patreon.com. In your browser, sign up there. Do not do anything financially. In the iOS app, you will get charged 30%. So if you're going to go sign up for the $10 tier and you're like, oh, it's 14, weird. You're in the wrong place.
yep.
Back out, do it in the web. If you have any issues, shoot me a message on Patreon. Be sure to connect to the Discord. Every Patreon user has that. And of course, we have the Instas and the Twitters and the Facebooks and the socials, the medias, the TikToks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We're close to 900. We're getting
Yep.
Oh, shit.
there. We're getting there.
And they're
So
funsies.
they are funsies, yeah. I take clips from TikTok. The clips I put up, I take from some of our Patreon videos, and I take some from our YouTube videos. So they're always fun. So check it out there. TikTok, be sure to follow, like, comment. Thank you to everyone that's checking that out and leaving all kinds of
Yeah.
fun messages. We appreciate that there. We have merch at hellerspace.com. Got a super fun Black Friday t-shirt coming up. And I think the store is on sale almost all of November. So if you want to get yourself something, now is the month to do it. And of course, Christmas is around the corner.
Yeah, it
Holiday
is.
shirt.
And you're not sure what to get your Grams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your Grams wants a fucking occult labor union t-shirt.
She does.
Yeah.
Surely does.
A hoodie.
There you go. Get her a hoodie, get her a tote, Get her a hat. Get Grams a
Yep.
trucker hat.
A
Grams.
mug? Is there mugs, right?
Yeah, there's mugs.
Yeah,
Yeah, get a
get her
mug.
a
Get a
mug.
trucker
Grams drinks
hat.
fucking coffee, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
they all
Grams
do.
fucking loves coffee,
Yeah.
man.
Hell yeah.
When she's ripping that missile,
Oh
Mhm.
yeah.
a cup of coffee with a trucker hat.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love
You
it.
knew my grandma.
Yeah, sounds like it's all of our grandmas. So yeah, the merch is available there, and yeah, that's it. That's all we got. Thank you so very much, Peyton. Welcome to week 2.
Thank
Strap
you.
in, dear.
I'm-
Next is week 3.
I'm strapped.
You got to get the over the
I
the
stay
shoulder.
strapped.
Yeah, like this. Boom, like lock in, like you're on like a fucking one of those things called
Roller
a
coaster.
roller coaster. I
Yeah.
forgot. See,
Yeah.
my mind's too full of stuff.
Uh-huh.
I forgot what a roller coaster was.
Telepathic.
That's okay.
Titty
And I bet
butt
you,
roller
I bet you if I
coaster.
wrote out
man.
roller coaster, I wouldn't even
Yep.
know how to spell it.
Yeah, I got the one that not only pulls up here, but it buckles to the bottom
Yeah,
of the seat.
man, pure safety.
all
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Double
Yeah, I'm
the
safe.
safety.
There it is.
So safe. One time I got stuck in a roller coaster because I was strapped in too tight, actually.
See, that's why not. I don't go on them anymore.
But you survived
yeah, I mean you're good.
Hardly.
It doesn't
Yeah.
matter. I
Yeah.
can't.
You're there. You're fine.
I'll never go on a roller
No,
coaster.
it really
again.
hurt.
because you were strapped in too tight once.
No, just like one time I just went on the Viper and I'm like, all of a sudden I just nearly had a panic attack.
Oh
Mm.
man.
Just
Yeah.
so you're just
No,
sitting really
I
deep
can't.
in it, and I'm just like,
I can't do
You gotta
it.
get me the fuck out of here.
No,
Yeah.
it was
No,
one
my,
of those.
My body won't allow
no.
it.
I'm
You know when they
hyper
push it
claustrophobic
down?
now.
Yeah.
And it just goes across your lap and they push it down
And
and
it's
it
like
clicks.
cutting
Yeah.
into your.
And then to get it back up, they push it down and up. They pushed it down so tight that when it was done, they couldn't push it back down to do the down up.
Oh
Did they
shit.
cut you out of it?
No, they didn't
Jaws
cut me
of
out,
life?
but some
Jaws of
guy
life.
some guy had to press a bunch of buttons.
Some
the
random
release?
some random
There's like an
carny
override.
at the
Did they have to
tomato
like
thing.
helicopter him in?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He came down from a dirigible.
You gotta call Jeff. It's too tight. Get Jeff. I know he's in North Carolina. I don't care. Get Jeff. Get him here. Goddamn, thank you, Jeff.
Yeah. Shout out
Appreciate it.
Jeff.
Shout out to Jeff.
See, I always had the opposite problem. As a fat fuck, when I used to get in roller, they like literally just let it gently caress my shoulders as it went out horizontal.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
go over me, and just be like, "He's too fat to fall out of this thing."
Yeah.
So I would
It
just be
wouldn't
like
even
holding
lock
on
in,
for-
yeah.
no, just not
Yeah.
even locked
Oh,
at all.
God.
Like I almost died. I don't know how many pirate ships.
Yeah,
Oh,
I,
yeah. Pirate ships.
pirate?
Yeah.
yeah. The pirate ship
They're
always got
dangerous.
me, man. I stopped. My body just my
I love
whole
'em,
shit hurts when I'm
but-
done with this. So I don't do it anymore.
Okay.
My kids enjoy the rides, and I drink beer and watch them do it.
That's
and
fair.
Well, yeah.
I
That's
can
what
do a
I'd be doing.
Ferris wheel. I'm good with the Ferris wheel. I can do
Well,
the,
yeah.
the teacups. I'm the
Oh,
master
love
of the
hell
teacups.
the
yeah.
teacup.
I'm
Love
the
a spin.
master of the
Teacups are
Love
fine.
a good
Yeah, I
teacup.
love teacups,
Yeah,
man.
bumper cars.
As long as somebody's not like spinning them to.
No
make
way.
don't like
them
bumper
come.
cars?
I can't. It hurts.
You
Yeah.
feel it in your back. When
Yeah,
you get to a
my
certain
backs,
age.
my hips, my
Yeah,
my knees,
you'll
everything
understand
hurts, yeah.
that one day.
It'll happen. Just wait.
I mean, I hope not, but yeah.
Physical labor for a living for the last 17 years. My body is destroyed. Everything's falling apart.
Yeah.
I know, but it's worth it for some fun and
I
bumper
mean,
cars.
I got
it's
the
not.
teacups, dog. I'll
That's
always
gotta
have.
hurt your back.
I'll always have the teacups.
Gotta
No,
hurt your neck.
it's not too bad.
You don't have to do that though.
Yeah.
It's controllable.
Yeah, 100%.
Video
true.
got to see that sick move.
yeah, they,
Sure did.
Wow. You're right.
Volunteer.
Awesome. All right.
Yeah.
Well, there it is.
that's
Thank you.
that's worth the $10 alone.
There it is. Yes, indeed. Thank you all so very much, and we're talking to you soon.
Teacups.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, friends.